Welcome to Week in Review, a weekly program where we bring you major stories that made the headlines in the week. I'm your host, Princess Ken Ochoma. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Now, straight into the news. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, will likely be heading to the appeal court to challenge the life sentence handed down on him by the Abuja High Court, presided over by Justice James Omotosho on Thursday. The indication calendar from our lawyer Jimako shortly after the court made the pronouncement. One of our correspondents gave the report. To an end on Thursday at the Abuja High Court, but not without some drama. And after order was restored in court, the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, handed down the lengthy judgment. On count 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, Omotosho opted for life imprisonment instead of the death penalty. The 7 counts against Kanu relate to his secessionist agitations, acts of terrorism, membership of a proscribed group, killing of security operatives, destruction of public property, concealment, and the importation of an unregistered radio transmitter. For count 3, concerning his membership of a proscribed terrorist group, Justice Omotosho James sentenced Kanu to 20 years imprisonment without an option of fine. On count 7, which involved the unlawful importation of a radio transmitter for the purpose of broadcasting activities via Radio Biafra, Justice Omotosho sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment without an option of fine. Speaking to journalists after the judgment, the prosecution counsel and senior advocate of Nigeria, Adegboyega Awomolo, commended the court for the judgment, saying that justice has been served.
Justice has been done. And therefore, Nigerians must, one way or the other, appreciate the judiciary. You remember just last Monday, the president was saying, at any time when Nigeria is in a big trouble or fix, judiciary has always come to the aid to salvage Nigeria. Again, the judiciary has salvaged Nigeria from the claws, from the oppression of the proscribed IPOB. The court has also pronounced death sentence on Eastern Security Network, which was the military wing of IPOB. Today, God has brought an end to injustice, oppression, suffered by our brothers and sisters of the eastern states of Nigeria. They will not be able to sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
But one of Kanu's former lawyers, Aloy Ejimako, faulted the judgment, stating that Kanu will be heading to the appeal court to challenge the judgment.
Today is the only day I have witnessed a man being convicted for mere puffery, for what he said from his mouth, not what he did with his own hands. The verdict is not consistent with the evidence laid before the court. The sentence is overbroad, cruel, and unusual. How can you convict a man for making mere broadcasts from a location that was never named, and he never tied that broadcast to any single incident of violence, or even someone slapping someone, not to talk of terrorism? You did all this, you didn't lay any evidence. I don't know where this whole verdict can be grounded in law, logic, or facts. We disagree with the judgment vehemently.
Completely.
Yes. Exactly. And we are going to fight it from here onwards until justice is done.
Another former member of the legal team, Maxwell Okpara, also described the life imprisonment sentence handed to Kanu as an attack on the Igbos.
This judgment is predicated on our anger. Thank God that the judgment was extreme life and everybody watched it. you will see the anger in delivering the judgment. And it's not predicated on law. Now, I also want to let you know that this charge, that the investigation that gave rise to this charge was not investigated, because Mazen Nandekano's statement, purported statement, was rejected by this court. And they did not tender any document as the investigation report. That is to say, the investigation was not, the offense was not investigated. Having said that, also something that happened in court today, Mazen Nandekano filed a matter in court of appeal, and he is asking, my lord, that particular matter I filed in court of appeal anchored on this particular issue. Please, can you just suspend this judgment? Let court of appeal direct what to do. My lord refused. Now, on the issue of anger, you journalists will bear with Mazen Nandekano that Nigerian government and the judiciary are not fair to Mazen Nandekano. What do I mean? Nandekano was given judgment by court of appeal. Federal government refused to comply with that judgment given by court of appeal until after 8 days before they appeal against it. When we get to the Supreme Court directed prosecution what to do. Amend this particular charge. Nandekano was saying that, please, can you amend this charge? They refused. With the combined effect of all this, I'm assuring you that this judgment will not stand. So this is a judgment against the Igbos. This is a judgment against the good people of Southeast, and it's because of Mazen Nandekano is an Igbo. You cannot give this kind of judgment to a northern. You cannot give it to a southwestern. You cannot give it to another tribe in Nigeria apart from the Igbos. And we are going to start against it.
The view is shared by some others.
He attacked bees and ants. People will like him. If you like, let them put him in Cameroon. If you like, let them put him in Morocco. Nnamdi Kanu will have followers everywhere. We don't do what is wrong. We hate nobody. We have not been against anybody in Nigeria. We have cohabited with everybody in Nigeria peacefully, peaceably. There is no tribe that is treated the way we are treated. This nonsense got to stop. If they are no more interested in the union, we can part peacefully. We don't have to kill ourselves. We have intermarried. We have Yoruba wives and in-laws. We have Hausa in-laws. We can part peacefully. They must not continue pushing this narrative. When it comes to an Igbo man, they just keep the law.
Justice Omotosho stated that even though the law permits him to pass a death sentence on Kanu, which is the penalty for such offences, he had chosen to temper justice with mercy, guided by Christian principles to settle for life imprisonment. And despite all his efforts to convince the world that all his pronouncements are firmly grounded on local and international extant laws, many still believe that the trial and its outcome are politically and ethnically motivated, a viewpoint that has been expressed by various parties throughout the prolonged legal proceedings. I am Princess Ken Ochoma, Signature TV News. President Bola Tinubu on Monday cautioned judicial officers across the country to ensure that justice remains sacred and insulated from corruption, declaring that justice must never be for sale. Speaking at the opening of the 2025 All-Nigerian Judges Conference of the Supreme Court in Abuja, Tinubu maintained that the judiciary must remain the true custodians of justice. Correspondent Precious Chagor gave this report.
Declaring the conference open, Tinubu said the evolution of Nigeria's democracy continues to be shaped by the courage, fairness, and integrity of judicial decisions. Tinubu insisted that judicial discipline must be firm and transparent, stressing that safeguarding the court's integrity is a responsibility of every judicial officer, not just National Judicial Council. He urged the judiciary to embrace bold, practical reforms that would restore public trust and strengthen the rule of law, warning that the legitimacy of the court is threatened when justice is delayed or tainted. Tinubu noted that Nigerians have repeatedly expressed frustration over delayed judgment, questionable conduct, and difficulty of assessing justice.
Justice must never be for sale. The bench must never become a sanctuary for compromise. Corruption in any form or any arm of government weakens the nation, but corruption in judiciary destroys it to the core. When justice is compromised, government loses its integrity and democracy loses its foundation. With utmost seriousness, my administration stands ready to support every effort by the judiciary to preserve its dignity and eliminate misconduct.
The president reaffirmed his administration's commitment to improving judicial capacity, working conditions, and infrastructure nationwide. He said technology must become central to courts' operations, with digitization and integrated case management forming the backbone of future reforms. He urged judges to implement reforms that strengthen discipline, reduce congestion in courts, and make justice more accessible and affordable to citizens. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, stated that a judiciary deserving of public respect must remain steadfast in its independence and capable of confronting corruption in order to strengthen the nation. She stressed the importance of not only being impartial, but also being seen to be impartial, warning that the perception of bias could be as damaging as actual misconduct.
A judiciary that commands respect must be unwavering in upholding independence, firm in strengthening ethical standards, and resolute in eliminating inefficiencies in court administration. We must address the persistent issues of outdated infrastructure, intellectual complacency, and corruption challenges that have hindered our efficiency and undermined public trust. To build a confident judiciary, we must rise above these obstacles and ensure that justice is dispensed with integrity, impartiality, and transparency. We must also acknowledge the difficult but undeniable truth. The judiciary continues to operate within a democratic framework where financial dependence on the executive persists. Without genuine financial autonomy, judicial independence remains fragile. True independence is the bedrock of justice. Where it is absent, the temple of justice trembles.
The theme of this year's conference, Building a Confident Judiciary, points to the fact that judiciary is a lifeblood of justice in any society and that judgments must be grounded in law. Precious Chagoro, Signature TV News.
The Enugu State government has taken another step towards strengthening the welfare and spiritual support of its citizens embarking on holy pilgrimages. This followed the formal inauguration of the Enugu State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board, charged with overseeing and enhancing the pilgrimage experience for Christians across the states. Correspondent Chinemere Mikebunam reported on it.
Christian pilgrimage has remained an important aspect of spiritual devotion for Christians, with thousands of Nigerians embarking on an annual journey to holy sites in Israel, Jordan, Roman, and other destinations. Over the years, the government has worked to strengthen structures that ensure pilgrims travel safely, receive proper orientation, and enjoy a spiritually fulfilling experience. The inauguration of the new Enugu State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board is therefore seen as part of efforts to enhance coordination, improve welfare provisions, and align pilgrimage administration with the revised Enugu State of Nigerian Law 2004. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony held at Government House, Enugu, Governor Peter Mba, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidebere Onya, explained that the board derived its authority from the revised Enugu State of Nigerian Law 2004. According to him, the newly constituted board is expected to provide strategic guidance and oversight to ensure that the Christian pilgrims from Enugu State enjoy a safe, well-coordinated, and spiritually enriching pilgrimage experience.
To provide a meaningful and spiritual experience for pilgrims, to encourage and facilitate the spiritual growth and development of pilgrims, to provide an opportunity for Christians to perform pilgrimage to the Holy Land, and finally, to encourage and facilitate pilgrimage to the Holy Land as a tool for spiritual and moral reform.
Speaking on behalf of the members, the chairman, Dr. Mary Rose Abba, expressed gratitude to Governor Mbah for finding them worthy to serve the state in that capacity. She called for continuous prayers from the public, assuring that the board will deliver on its mandate with excellence and integrity.
Because when I got the call yesterday, I asked, what's the inauguration for? I was told, come, when you come, you find out. So, this pilgrimage board, this responsibility given to us, is like what we have desired. We need prayers, and we are here, like the army set to go and pray for the country. And I can assure you, by His grace, God on our side, we shall deliver.
With the inauguration of the board, the Enugu state government says it is strengthening structures that ensure the safety and spiritual upliftment of pilgrims. The board is expected to begin work immediately as preparation for the next pilgrimage season intensify. In Enugu, Chinemerem Ikebunam, Signature TV News.
To strengthen inclusion and protect the rights of persons living with disabilities, the Enugu State Government have inaugurated the Persons with Disabilities Commission. The newly established body is expected to drive policies that promote equal access, welfare, and empowerment for PWDs across the state. Correspondent Chinemerem Ikebunam was at the inauguration and brought the report.
For years, persons living with disabilities in Enugu State have consistently advocated for stronger legal protection, improved welfare, and a dedicated institutional framework to address their unique challenges. Despite the passage of disability-related policies at the national level, many in the state continue to face barriers to education, employment, healthcare, and accessibility. Advocacy groups repeatedly called for the establishment of a functional disabilities commission that would give structure to their demands and ensure that government interventions are coordinated and impactful. The inauguration of the Enugu State Persons with Disabilities Commission, therefore, marks a long-awaited milestone in addressing these concerns and advancing the rights and dignity of the physically challenged community. Representing Governor Peter Mbah at the inauguration, the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidebere Onya, said the commission will provide strategic guidance and oversight in implementing policies that support the social, educational, and economic developments of PWDs in Enugu. Professor Onya emphasized the importance of comprehensive data collation, noting that proper enumeration of persons with disabilities is crucial for effective planning, targeted interventions, and equitable welfare delivery.
Ensure that all facilities in each community all over the state shall be built or modified where and when feasible to accommodate special needs of people with disability. And we have started this with the design of our smart grid schools to ensure that there are ramps to accommodate all learners, even for those that will have to have their classes upstairs. We've also designed our type 2 primary healthcare facilities to also ensure that there's accessibility, that nobody feels disenfranchised because of the design of architecture. So we're very intentional about it, but this board will continue to suggest other ways that can be improved upon, with especially our historical infrastructure in the state.
Chairman of the Commission, Jude Eze, pledged unwavering support for the administration's vision, aligning the Commission's work with Governor Mbah's transformative Tomorrow is Here agenda.
I want to appreciate this very inauguration. It's actually timely, considering how important it is in our society. His Excellency has been so committed in areas of people with disabilities. I know him as a man of his words, and he's actually a great. And I want to appreciate him heavily, on behalf of the members of the Senate Committee in the state. I also want to assure the government of Enugu State that this responsibility given to us will not fail. We will do our possible ways. We will do our possible ways to ensure that the goals and objectives of the government, especially in line with Tomorrow is Here agenda, is possible.
The 18-member commission brings together experts and representatives from various sectors and disability advocacy groups. Their mandate includes formulating guidance for the education and social development of PWDs, designing skill enhancement and empowerment programs, and monitoring the implementation of government policies to guarantee inclusion and protection across the state. The commission marks a significant milestone, and expectations are now high for policies and programs that will translate these promises into real meaningful change. In Enugu, Chinemere Mikebunam, Signature TV News.
The Enugu State Governor, Dr. Peter Mba, has promised that the state government will deliver at least 15,000 mass housing units for civil servants and middle-income earners before the end of 2026. Governor Mba made the promise while delivering the keynote address at the 4th Synod of the Enugu Catholic Diocese held at the Holy Ghost Cathedral, Ogui, Enugu. Correspondent Chinemere Ikebunam also gave the details.
The Holy Ghost Cathedral, Ogui, Enugu, came alive as bishops, priests, religious leaders, and lay faithfuls from across the southeast and beyond converged for the 4th Enugu Diocesan Synod, a spiritual convocation with the theme Promoting a Productive Economy in Enugu State. What began as a moment of reflection soon became a platform for governance as Governor Peter Mba seized the rare opportunity to highlight reforms that, according to him, are already setting Enugu on the path of productivity, stability, and sustainable growth. Addressing the Synod, Governor Mba reaffirmed his administration's resolve to complete at least 15,000 mass building units for civil servants and middle-income earners by the end of 2026, a gesture which he said is designed to ease the burden on workers and senior citizens while promoting accessible home ownership in the state.
Affordable housing schemes, including the new Enugu housing estates, offer dignity and stability to civil servants and middle-income earners. Next year, we will deliver 15,000 mass housing units. Over 1,300 kilometers of roads now link farms, markets, industries, schools, and hospitals, reconnecting people with opportunity.
The governor further revealed that construction activities have kicked off at the aluminum plant in Ohebedim, Iwe-Etiti local government area, slated for commissioning on October 1st, 2026. He said that the plant will fabricate aluminium and produce high-grade aluminium profile, positioning Enugu as an emerging hub for industrial manufacturing.
And just recently, we have started work at the aluminium plant in Ohebedim in Iwe-Etiti local government. By 1st October 2026, that plant will be commissioned. We're not just commissioning what used to be the aluminium plant. We have upgraded it. We're going to upgrade it. So we know we're not just only able to fabricate aluminium there, but we can also produce the aluminium profiles.
Mba also spotlighted the ambitious Enugu Smart City project, describing it as a futuristic development integrating smart housing, fiber optic broadband connectivity, green energy solution, efficient transport systems, and digital governance tools aimed at transforming the state's productivity landscape. In the health sector, the governor confirmed the full upgrade of the State University of Medical and Applied Sciences, SUMAS, to the status of a university teaching hospital, enhancing medical training, research excellence, and advanced healthcare delivery for residents across the state. Governor Mba described the synod as a sacred moment of listening, reflection, and renewal, emphasizing that faith and governance must work side by side to build a state anchored on justice, compassion, productivity, and shared responsibility. The Catholic Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Most Reverend Callistus Onaga, praised praised the governor for what they termed impactful reform across sectors. He noted that while the church nurtures virtue and moral character, the government remains responsible for providing the structures and policies that allow societies to flourish.
I thank you for your innovations. One thing is clear, not everybody will understand you now. There's 80% have understood you. What is happening in the state, some are seeing it to be too radical, some are seeing it to be a bit harsh, but I'm telling you, the majority are happy with you. And that's the main thing. And what I'm telling our people is, please, we have to be patient. And as a church, let us pray for the governor. Pray for the governor, because he is doing his best to give us what we should get.
As the synod continues, it leaves behind not only spiritual reflections, but also bold commitments and expectations, which the Mba administration has set for itself. In Tinubu, Chinemere Mekebunam, Signature TV News.
It was a moment of renewed commitment in the fight against sexual and gender-based violence, as community vanguards were inaugurated in Anambra State. These vanguards were unveiled at a one-day workshop with the theme, Establishing Community Vanguards for Improved Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Protection across states in Nigeria. Correspondent Lawrence Wimu brought us the details.
Community vanguards against sexual gender-based violence were inaugurated under the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program funded by the European Union and implemented by the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance. Declaring the event open, the RULAC State Coordinator, Dr. Josephine Ona, explained that the inauguration is targeted at strengthening grassroots mechanisms to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. According to her, the Vanguard will serve as a watchdog, sensitizing community, supporting survivors, and ensuring perpetrators are brought to justice.
We feel that we will get other stakeholders involved in the issue of fight against sexual gender-based violence. It is a scourge that no single organization, no single platform can address. For RULAC themselves, we have engaged with a lot of you here to do so many things. We have supported several activities, perhaps during the 16 days of activism.
Ona noted that while RULAC and its partners had achieved significant progress through the assent to relevant bills and publication of over 2,000 copies of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, she urged participants to live up to expectations as change agents, emphasizing that a more united front against the scourge will bring hope for a better tomorrow. Speaking on the community vanguard for awareness, prevention, and response to SGBV, Ambassador Rachel Johanna, represented by Ugochi Freeman, explained key concepts of sexual abuse, such as consent, perpetrators, and prevention strategies. She challenged harmful social norms, condemned victim blaming, and called for creation of safe homes and ending the culture of silence, particularly in the rural communities.
We are different organizations responding to cases, but we have under a network, under organized structure. Okay, when you call them, the closest person to where that person is, we pick up that case. So the first thing we encourage them to do is to go for medical attention.
A resource person, Uju Onyendurefu, who took participants through the provisions of relevant Anambra State law, highlighted punishments for offenses such as rape, spousal battery, female genital mutilation, emotional abuse, forceful ejection, and economic deprivation. She also stressed the law's protective mechanisms, including protection orders, support services, and sex offenders register, which enhances accountability.
So if somebody is dressing indecently, it's not an excuse for you to define or read that message. Moral decadence. That is upbringing. That is upbringing. That is affecting us in several other ways in the family. It is killing our family values. But then, it is not an excuse.
The chairman, Anambra State Disability Rights Commission, Barrister Chuks Ezeuzie, commended RULAC for its continuous support to the commission. He drew attention to the intersection between disability and gender-based violence, noting that persons with disabilities could be victims, perpetrators, or witnesses and must be treated with equal fairness and dignity.
So, persons with disability need as much salvation as any other person. Also, when it comes to legal matters, let me tell you 3 main points. 1, when a person with disability is a victim. 2, when a person with disability is the perpetrator. 3, when a person with disability is a witness. In these 3 cases, Anambra State Disability Rights Commission will take action.
The event brought together the academia, legal practitioners, community leaders, and law enforcement agencies. Some of the stakeholders expressed their readiness to escalate the awareness campaign in their localities. The project aligns with national and international frameworks, including Nigeria's Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and targets schools, markets, and rural areas for awareness campaigns. From Oka, Lawrence Muimu, Signature TV.
Public relations officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service had a 3-day capacity building workshop in Abuja to improve communication, public engagement, and understanding of the Correctional Service Act. The training was implemented by the Prisoners Rehabilitation and Action, PRAWA, an international idea, in partnership with the service. Correspondent Chimezie Zedimba brought the report.
Public relations officers from across the correctional service formations across the country are in Abuja to sharpen the communication backbone of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The theme for the opening day, Building Knowledge for Effective Communication, focused on understanding the provisions of the Service Act and how it can guide accurate information inflow, reduce misinformation, and improve public trust in correctional administration.
This gathering is both timely and strategic, taking place at the moment when our service is undergoing unprecedented reforms aimed at enhancing operational efficiency, deepening public trust, and reshaping the national perception of our mandate. Public relations is not merely a function of our service, it is a central pillar in our transformation journey. The image of any institution is as important as the work it undertakes. Over the past few months, we have made deliberate efforts to strengthen our communication channels, expand engagement with stakeholders, and project the service in its rightful light. As a service committed to safe custody, humane treatment, and meaningful reformation of offenders. This workshop therefore provides a critical platform to sharpen our skills, align our strategies, and ensure uniformity in messaging across all commands.
Sylvester Wakuchi, the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Services, and Dr. Uju Agomo, President of PRAWA, underscored the need for consistency in messaging, urging officers to align with the service's reform agenda and to engage citizens with empathy, accuracy, and respect for human dignity.
Let us approach this workshop not merely as an event, but as an opportunity to transform our professional practice, elevate our impact, and strengthen the reputation of the Nigerian Correctional Service. I also want to emphasize that public relations is more than just projecting a positive image. It is about cultivating trust through transparency, accountability, and consistency. It is about engaging stakeholders in ways that foster understanding and collaboration. It is about humanizing our work, highlighting the successes of our officers, and communicating the transformative impact of our correctional programs on the lives of inmates and society at large.
If you need policymakers to do the needful in terms of providing support to this sector, we need to partner with the media and in partnering with them to provide those 2 points I mentioned, the frequency of reportage and the quality.
Dr. Agomo also emphasized collaboration across agencies, noting that the workshop aligns with ongoing efforts to strengthen correctional oversight, reintegration support, and public understanding of the service's mandate.
These 3 days, we want to be able to work with the public relations officers, to understand the import of their functions, to understand how critical they are in promoting correctional reform in this sector. I'm happy that the resource persons are ready. So you will know these issues, and part of the major things we will be talking about is also to enable you to understand the richness that is embodied in the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019. Any nation that does not understand the importance of supporting correctional reforms and justice reforms and criminal justice reforms is doomed. The reason why that nation is doomed is because that is a nation that will be breeding insecurity. That's a nation that will affect the development of this nation.
The workshop continues through the week, with sessions expected to equip PROs with tools for strategic messaging, media engagement, and public accountability, all vital to the ongoing transformation of the correctional service. In Abuja, Chimeze Izadima reporting for Signature TV News.
A professor of mass communication at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Professor Sonny Udeze, has charged Nigerian journalists to channel more efforts towards addressing the country's development issues. Professor Udeze made the call in his keynote address at a grand reception organized by the Greater Ogun Media Professionals Forum for the new chairman of the Enugu State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Obinna Obuka. Correspondent Ugone Owalo was at the event.
It was a gathering of media professionals, government functionaries, community and opinion leaders, and the civil society who gathered to witness the grand reception in honor of Obinna Obuka, who recently assumed the mantle as NUJ chairman in Enugu State. The event provided a platform to reflect on the role of journalists in a society such as Nigeria that is currently battling development challenges. The guest speaker, Professor Sonny Udeze, challenged the media professionals to always focus on how to draw the attention of those in power and development agencies to the issues of community development.
You look at it very closely, you discover that the problem associated with low literacy is everywhere. The problem associated with poor health services is everywhere. That is why some people, because of the poverty that they encounter, when they are sick, they will go to a dispenser. You know the difference between a dispenser and a pharmacist? The dispenser gives you anything. The pharmacist gives you drugs based on prescription.
The Enugu State Commissioner for Youth and Sport, Lloyd Ekweremadu, noted that the media is a powerful channel of communication that has the ability to shape public opinion and drive positive change.
The media profession, let me say, similar to the legal profession, is a noble one. Indeed, you are aptly referred to as the fourth estate of the realm when it comes to a democratic society such as ours. Your role cannot be overemphasized. And to see that we as people of greater extraction have been able to mobilize our media professionals in this most organized way is highly commendable.
The senator representing Enugu West Senatorial District in the National Assembly, Ositangu, stressed the need for collaboration between the government and the media in driving development in the society. Ngwu, who was represented by Dr. Lukumbo, charged the media to always remain committed to helping to shape public opinion and promoting accountability in governance.
And on behalf of the distinguished senator, I'd like to pledge total collaboration and support to your administration. Our doors are open. Anytime, anything, call on us. We'll be there for you. I would also like to use this medium to assure the good people of Enugu West Senatorial District that will continue with effective representation of the people.
Chairman of the Greater Owo Media Professionals, Regis Anukwoji, pledged the support of the group in promoting good governance and community development in the state. He assured that the members will support the NUJ chairman Obinna Ogbuka in making his regime a huge success while urging him to strive for excellence.
GAM is an assemblage of professional journalists from across the world who trace their roots to the old occupation, comprising of Oji River and Alili local government areas. This event is historic because it serves as a unifying forum and a catalyst for renewed commitment from every journalist of Greater origin. It challenges us to think beyond the ordinary and reflect deeply on our social and corporate responsibility to our people.
The celebrant Obinna Ogbuka expressed gratitude to Enugu journalists for the confidence reposed in him and promised to work tirelessly to serve the union and the media community.
I feel like carrying the body and the cross of integrity, the cross of making the good people of Greater proud at the end of my tenure. And I know I will not do that alone. So I therefore appeal for the support of everybody here.
The highlight of the grand reception was the cake cutting ceremony, where the celebrant and his wife, beaming with joy, sliced into a beautifully decorated cake, surrounded by well-wishers and enthusiastic supporters. From Enugu, Ugonne Owalu, Signature TV News.
More news after this break. Welcome back. Now, the House of Representatives expressed deep concern over renewed insecurity in Zamfara State following fresh attacks, mass abductions, and the reported 100 million naira levy imposed on communities in Intisafe local government area. As lawmakers resumed a new legislative week, debates quickly intensified, stretching from national security to electoral law interpretations and constitutional amendments. Our correspondent brings details of the proceedings. Many of the residents who are being exploited rely on small-scale farming and petty trading for survival.
Mr. Speaker, the above-mentioned killings are just few examples of many killings and kidnapping that have been taking place only within 1 month in my constituency. The following were resolved, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, call on the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to explore a new strategy to end these killings and activities in Zamfara State and Nigeria at large, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want this House to mandate all ministers of defense, all service chiefs to relocate to Zamfara State to conduct a massive and rigorous operation that will bring an end to this menace.
The House urged the President to adopt fresh security strategies and directed the Minister of Defense and the civil service chiefs to relocate temporarily to Zamfara to coordinate and intensify security operation. Later, proceedings took a dramatic turn when Anambra lawmaker Ifeanyi Uzokwe attempted to give a personal explanation on Section 82, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act. He argued that the law does not mandate INEC to physically attend political party primaries or conventions and was supported by Joe Onuakaluse.
And I stand this afternoon all of us to look at our electoral law 82:1. When we go out, the impression that people have outside is that INEC must be present in conventions and congresses of party.
but it is not in our law. I will take our members to 82.1, and it reads, Notice of Convention and Congresses. 82.1.
Honorable Ifeanyi,
point of order.
I hope you are aware that we are in the process of amending our Electoral Act.
Yes.
And that a session is going to be dedicated very soon to look at clause by clause all the relevant provisions and the amendments proposed. So I don't think, if in the light of what we have before us, we need to discuss anything about Electoral Act. You should wait until when those issues that you are raising are not addressed in the amendments that...
Your Excellency, what happened if you watch the televisions, you will see that these people are throwing in our democracy into spanners that we cannot handle in future.
I believe, Honorable Ifeanyi, hold on, please. Wait until when the amendments are brought before us. If it is not captured, then you have every right to actually
it is an existence.
But Speaker Abbas Tajuddin ruled him out of order, insisting that any amendment issue must be channeled through the Constitution Review Committee.
But my appeal to him was that rather than discussing about this issue,
please,
we should wait for the Deputy Speaker, who is going to bring before the Parliament a comprehensive amendment on... Please, can we sit down? Let's have order, please. Order, please. Order, please.
It's the laws that guide us while we're here. And when issues of law are raised, Mr. Speaker, we are the makers of the law. We are the protectors of the law. And we are the amendments of the law. By virtue of 7th schedule that we are sworn in of the 1999 Constitution, the issue that were raised by Honorable Ifeanyi is an issue of law. And the House have the right to hear him out. That's my position, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I'm coming under Section 4. Section 4 is Section 4. I want to read.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Joe,
Mr.
please,
Speaker,
can you sit down?
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Lawmakers also adopted a motion urging the NNPC Limited to fast-track oil drilling in Obi local government area of Nasarawa State, following a request by Abubakar Dahiru.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has sufficient funds allocated under the Petroleum Industry Act to prospect for the oil anywhere in Nigeria. We are aware that the drilling the OB oil statutory duty of the Nigerian National Petroleum Limited, as provided in the Petroleum Industry Act, which allocates 30% of the funds for oil prospecting. Concerned that the delay in drilling the OB oil in Nasarawa State is affecting potential income, employment opportunities, and economic growth for both the state and the nation.
A bill sponsored by Essen Martin Etim and 24 others seeking to amend the Constitution passed second reading. The proposal seeks to reduce the minimum age for Senate and governorship positions from 35 to 30.
It further proves that if a member of this House at 25 years spends 2 terms in the House of Representatives, it will be 33 years, and he will still not be qualified to go to the Senate or to become a governor. So I think that this Honorable House should look into it, and we maintain the gap between the office of the governor and Senate, as it were, and that of the House at the 5 years that it has always been. So this bill is seeking to reduce the age from 35 to 30 for the office of the governor and membership of the Senate, as it were, Your Excellency.
Late President Muhammadu Buhari in May 2018 signed the Not Too Young to Run constitutional amendment into law, reducing the minimum ages for the office of president from 40 to 35 years and House of Representatives and State Houses of Assembly from 30 to 25 years. The age limit for governorship and Senate seats was, however, left unchanged at 35 years. I am Princess Ken Ochama, Signature TV. The National Executive Committee meeting of the newly inaugurated National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party ended in violence on Tuesday. The executive committee members and a number of PDP governors were at the Wadata House National Secretariat of the party for the first NCE meeting after their election and inauguration in the Ibadan Elective Convention last Saturday. Correspondent Nasiru Usman gave this update.
The Ibadan Convention has come and gone, but the PDP crisis continues. The first sign that all was not going to be well at the first meeting of the newly inaugurated National Working Committee of PDP in Abuja on Tuesday was the unusually heavy presence of security personnel at the Wadata House, Secretariat of the PDP. Governor Abdulkadir Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, former governor of Kano State Ibrahim Shekaru, the new PDP national chairman Tinubu Turaki were among senior party officials who came for the meeting. But as the meeting was going on, inside one of rooms, the police inexplicably began firing canisters of tear gas right into the venue of the meeting, forcing the officials out of the venue.
I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria, come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance and support of the police to come and create mayhem here. I have said it, we are willing to lay down our lives, to protect our office, to protect our democracy, to protect our mandate.
The attempt by Governor Bala Mohammed to brief press on the ordeal of the party officials in the hand of the police coincided with the arrival of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, who was expelled from the party at the Ibadan Convention.
Follow back now. They are pushing him back.
The party security personnel promptly opened the gate for him to drive in, and the Bauchi State governor, who had earlier parked his car outside the premises, drove back into the secretariat. The standoff became tense as the policemen accompanying both public officers made every effort to safeguard their principles.
You can see the minister of the FCT coming himself in person, being backed by the police. We are surprised because at the point when the police allowed us in, our chairman praised them for impartiality. But here we are. We are here to sit in to see what will happen. Our property, we have been tear gas as governors. We have been molested in spite of our immunity in time and whatever that we have as leaders in our own right with our chairman. Well, it is for the nation to gauge the kind of democracy we have, the kind of leadership that we have. I will advise the presidency that it should not keep people who are no longer useful in terms of managing the political space, managing our diversity, creating unity and governance. We don't want to cause trouble to anybody. Yes, we are in the opposition. We should be allowed to survive. The international community should know what we are going through. We are going through hell. Our party is being destroyed by people from inside.
Thugs and bouncers on both sides had a field day, injuring people, breaking party property, and creating confusion at the secretariat. Meanwhile, the national chairman of the PDP, Tinubu Turaki, says democracy is under siege in Nigeria, requiring the intervention of the international community.
Due to some incidents that are occurred by those people who are the enemies of progress, who are the enemies of democracy, we have decided that this meeting will be postponed till tomorrow. I want to call on all Nigerians to stand up. There is a serious threat to democracy in this country. As soon as democracy crumbles, then that will be the end of this country. God forbid.
Party sources say the FCT minister Nyesom Wike has given condition to PDP for the crisis in the party to be resolved. That is, that the PDP should not field a presidential candidate in the 2027 election.
From PDP National Secretariat here in Abuja, I am Nasir Usman, reporting for Signature TV.
And that's it on the show for this week. I am Princess Ken Achoma. Thanks for watching and see you next week.